Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan. Dear Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters. It might be a common observation for most of us that the troubles and difficulties and miseries that we face in life seem to first reduce and decrease after we become devotees of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. But after a while they begin to increase. We need not feel specially singled out because this seems to be the experience of devotees of God at all times, in all places, irrespective of which is the chosen form and name of their God. This is a bit paradoxical because in the first place we come to God with the hope that He will clear our miseries, and in the beginning He seems to do just that. But after that, things change. Difficulties after difficulties seem to come more and more to the devotees only. Out of all the millions of women in India in the bygone era, Mirabai was singled out to drink poison because she worshipped Krishna. Why? Why not any of the other princesses who possibly did not think of God as much as Mirabai, or who were possibly having many vices which are worthy of punishment? But no, be it Tyagaraja, be it Mirabai, be it Karanam Subbamma, in the Sai Avatar, or even Professor Narayan Kasturi, the biographer of Bhagwan. We often envy him for leading such a blessed life in such close proximity of Swami, but we have no idea of the difficulties he went through. Lived through so many financial difficulties, his wife was paralyzed. He had so many health issues, so many problems. Why? Well, I do not claim to have the answer to why each one suffers what each one suffers. But 9 years as a student of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning gave me a few opportunities to also be the student of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Yes, there is a difference between being a student of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning and being a Sai student. A student of Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning has a good chance of becoming a Sai student, but just being a student of the university does not automatically qualify you to be a Sai student. As Swami told to a student once, a Sai student is he or she who follows Sai, who follows the teachings of Sai. So, everybody in the universe has the opportunity to be a Sai student. So, as I was saying, during my 9 years as a student of the Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School and the Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, I got a few opportunities to be a Sai student too, when by His love and grace, a few lessons were learned. And these lessons did not come in the happy and good times. More often than not, they came during difficult situations. And here is one thrilling and beautiful insight that I want to share regarding why we seem to get more and more difficulties after we turn to God. So much so that it looks like at times God Himself is subjecting us to all these pains and troubles. He's purposely targeting us, and we pray, Swami, you know, right? Swami, you know this is unfair. Swami, you know what is the truth. Why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you yourself doing it? So many times as devotees, we turn to God and say, you are responsible for my troubles. You are the one who is doing it, Swami. Otherwise, how can it happen? Again, we need not feel alone here. Even great devotees like Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja, Swami says, cried out and said, Rama, is there a problem with my bhakti, or is there a problem in your Shakti? I know my bhakti. I think there's a problem in your Shakti only. You are not able to take care of me. So here is the incident. I will conclude this introduction and go directly to the story. This happened in the May of 2002. A summer course in Indian culture and spirituality had been scheduled at the Brindavan campus, Whitefield, Bangalore ashram of our beloved Bhagwan. And what is a summer course? The summer course started off in the 70s as an intense course in Indian culture and spirituality. It would usually last 1 month, and students had to struggle to get an invitation to attend the summer course. They would stay on the campus at Brindavan, and daily there would be talks by many learned scholars on various topics, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, Indian culture and spirituality. And the icing on the cake was when Swami would himself address the students almost on a daily basis. And with the students, the other devotees also in the later years became beneficiaries, because these discourses would be delivered in public. Later on, the summer course got modified to include only the students who were studying in the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. So 2002 happened to be the last ever summer course held in the physical presence of Swami. And this is an incident that happened during that time. I was studying my second year undergraduation, and I was part of the AVC department. The AVC department takes care of all the audio-visual systems, and back then, I'm talking of 2002, the systems were not very advanced. It was simple mics, cameras, lights. So the AVC and the maintenance departments would be taking care of this. So whenever Swami plans to give a discourse, we are the ones who get the opportunity to arrange the mics. But along with arranging Swami's mic, we would also arrange mics for all the singers during the bhajans. We would check if the volumes coming out of the speakers are fine. This was the job. And because I was in the AVC department, there was a great opportunity that I would get to stand inside the compound of Trai Brindavan. Trai Brindavan is Swami's residence at Brindavan, and Swami would walk past us going for darshan. It was a beautiful opportunity. Now let's go to the 26th of May 2002. This was the Buddha Purnima day, and Buddhist devotees from across the world had gathered at Brindavan to celebrate Buddha Purnima in Swami's presence. And that year, the organizing country for the Buddha Purnima celebrations was Nepal, and devotees from Nepal were all seated there, ready with their songs and performances in Bhagwan's presence. And that day was my opportunity to sit right in the front along with the devotees who were singing bhajans to ensure that the mics and all are in order. I also had my camera with me because, I thought it would be a great opportunity to sit in front and click Swami's photographs. And at this point in time, there's one more small detail that I must mention. 2 lifts, hydraulic lifts, had been installed, one on the ladies' side, one on the gents' side, because Swami had a fall. He used to have slight difficulty climbing steps, and therefore these lifts had been installed. With the coming of the lifts, an additional responsibility also got added to the AVC boys. That's us. What was it? If Swami used the ladies' side lift to go up the stage, we had to move to the gent side lift and push that also up, so that if Swami decides to come down again, both the lifts are available for him, and the vice versa. If he came down with the gent side lift, then we had to ensure that the ladies' side lift is also brought down, because if he wishes to climb up back on the stage, once again both the lifts are made available to him. Now, with this background, let me go to the happenings of the day. So that day I was seated right in the front. Those of you who have visited Brindavan will know that right in the front is a Ganesha idol, and above that Ganesha idol is the stage where Swami is seated. Right in front of Ganesha idol I was seated. I had a walkie-talkie by my side, that is to communicate with my team, the AVC team, and I had my camera, of course, the Nikon 801S. The Nikon 801S, an SLR camera where we had to put film reels. I don't know if the present day generation will appreciate or know about it, but we could click only 36 photographs per film roll. Every time you click the button to click a photograph, you could mentally think that 10 rupees or 20 rupees is gone. There's no, it was not free. Anyway, I was seated there and Swami came and sat for the bhajans. Now, as the bhajans were going on, Swami came down, granted darshan, and after darshan, Swami used the ladies' side lift to go up the stage. And Swami came walking and sat on the chair. I was so mesmerized and lost in that beauty that I just went on clicking photographs. Once Swami settled in the chair, now he is right in front of me, above me, and I'm looking at him and bhajans are going on. The walkie-talkie cackles to life and I get a message, Arvind, go to the gent side lift and put it up. I was wondering how will I do it now because I'm right in front of Bhagwan. So I replied back with the message saying, sir, I'm right in front of Swami here. Sir, because our AVC in charge, he was speaking, Nandagopal sir. And then he told, no, you have to go and put it up. I said, sir, I think it will be problematic because Swami is right here. I don't know how it will look if I move. And then he said, Warden sir is telling that it's better that you go and put it up. Now, Warden sir was not just the warden of the hostel. He was like a sort of administrative head for the whole Vrindavan ashram. He used to be considered like Swami's right hand person, and he would also take care of all the administration. So therefore, he was like the next after Swami, kind of. So when he's saying, I thought, oh, I better go and do it. So I placed my camera, got up, walked to the lift and pressed the button so that the lift goes up. Once the lift goes up, I was about to return to my place when another teacher, he came to me, pulled me from behind with my shirt and said, sit down. I sat down and he said, you fool, why did you come walking like this? You know how Swami was looking at you? I said, sir, warden told me to do this. He said, anybody may tell anything, but it's always between you and Swami. You should have taken care of that. Anyway, now sit here, don't go there. So when he said that, I got so worried and upset because I had come off about 10-15 meters away from my place towards the gent side lift. So for those of you who have not seen Vrindavan, when Swami is seated to his left, 90 degrees to his left is the gent side lift, and I was sitting actually bang in front of him. So I have moved from there till that position, and now I cannot see Swami properly, Swami cannot see me properly. But that is the lesser of the two worries. The main worry was I had left my camera in that place. And you know, as the bhajans were going on, Swami was in a kind of a trance. He was giving those mudras, beautiful looks, smiles, blessing the devotees. So these devotees from Nepal, especially, they were in such an energy. They went on clapping hard and singing loud and I was seeing that the people who were surrounding my camera, they were clapping with such gusto. I feared that one wrong swipe and my camera will be history. You know, I was so worried for my camera and I kept praying that, oh my God, I hope the camera is safe. I hope the camera is safe. About 20-25 minutes later, the bhajans concluded. Swami got up and he went to the ladies' side lift, got down from the ladies' side lift. And this time, since I was just beside the gents' side lift, I made that lift also come down. That was the protocol. And Swami started walking towards his residence. So to walk to his residence, he had to walk a little bit into the ladies' side, and then the exit door is there from the Sai Ramesh Hall, and he'll exit the Sai Ramesh Hall and go back to Trai Vrindavan, which is his residence. Now, as Swami neared the exit of the Sai Ramesh Hall, I quickly made my way to protect my camera. I got up and walked there. Now, can you believe it? At precisely the moment when I got up to walk, Swami stops there and turns around. And he sees me. The moment Swami saw me, I rushed and sat quickly and picked the camera in my hand. And what do I see? Swami turned around and began to walk towards me. And I was sitting there, looking at him walk towards me. Swami is smiling at all the ladies who were there. He's blessing them. I took the camera, started taking a couple of pictures. Then Swami came near me. Did you get up? I was surprised at his sudden change in demeanor. Swami, who was so blissful, smiling lovingly, suddenly became so serious. As I knelt, my face was very close to his face. And he asked, "Are you a student? Walking up and down like a cat and a dog and a pig?" Oh my God. And when he said pig, his spittle and saliva came flying on my face, droplets. I was just shuddering. He said, "I don't want students like this." I didn't know, I just stammered. I said, "Swami, warden." And he says, "Yes, warden, I will tell him, I will kick you out. Sit down." I just shrinked back in my place. And as I sat down, Swami's face again changed. He's smiling, he's beaming, he's blessing those devotees and these, as I said, devotees from Nepal who were sitting all around me. I was right in the front with my camera. They were all again enthralled, they were thrilled at this bonus darshan, and Swami blessed them, gave them such a loving smile. These are the instances that show us the nature of divine anger. For Swami, anger is just a tool to teach us, a tool to correct us. Because unlike us, just imagine if I'm angry at someone for something and I'm in a rage, if I tell you, "Get out, don't come here," in all probability, the next few minutes, whomever else I meet also, they will face it. At that time, if somebody comes and tells, "Arvind, could you finish that one task? Hey, just leave me alone, man. You just go out." For no reason, he or she also gets it. Because my anger, when I get angry, anger is in control of me. When Swami gets angry, he has fetched that emotion called anger in order to achieve something, in order to teach something. That is how Swami always works. He fetches these different emotions. When Swami says, "Bangaru, I cannot live without you," it's not as if he has got attached. He is the most detached. He has no duties in the universe. He is the most detached. But he brings on all these emotions, human emotions, so that we can relate to him, so that he can use them to teach us a lesson. And that is why when he gets so angry at someone, the next instant he is able to shower all love on somebody else. It's like a postman delivering different letters to each person. That is our Bhagwan. But all this wisdom vanishes at such moments, and I don't know, I didn't have that at that time. I was very scared, I was shuddering. In fact, as I sat down, a few tears started streaming down my cheek because I thought, this is it. If Swami tells the warden to kick me out, I'm gone. I won't be able to. How will I take it? What will I tell my parents? Telling my parents and others is a different story. What will I do? I came here to get close to Swami and I have angered him. These were the thoughts going on in my head. And as Swami exited, the devotees came. These Buddha Purnima celebration Nepal devotees, they came and they felt that here is this special person for whose sake Swami came walking all the way. They wanted to know, what did Swami tell you? They came, sir, what did Swami tell? What did Swami tell? So blessed. They did not have the slightest clue that I had received a volcanic eruption there. Because that is how Swami had done it, Only I had received that. And possibly there was a teacher who was sitting right behind me. He had also noticed. Because he came to me, patted me gently on the shoulder and he said, Arvind, I'll pray for you. When these devotees were asking me what happened, I was still having tears in my eyes. I said, I have to go. And then one among those devotees told the others, hey, he's very overwhelmed with the experience. Let him absorb that experience in entirety. Leave him alone. I got up and I rushed backstage. I went into Trai Vrindavan because I wanted to see whether Swami will follow up on his threat of telling the warden. And I reached just in time to see Swami walking. He was coming towards the warden. The warden was standing with a smiling face, and I saw the smile on his face disappear. And I could estimate that Swami had given him a not so good look. And I went closer, I could hear. Swami was describing a student with a camera with a height around this much, Swami was giving, who is that boy like that? I'm sure that the warden would have known who that boy is, but he understood that something was amiss. He said, Swami, I'll try to find out who that boy is. Swami said, find out and get him here in the afternoon. I will kick him out. Swami went. My heart sank. Having heard Swami said that, I was wondering what wrong did I do. And even, yes, if it's indiscipline, Swami, is it an indiscipline for which you will kick me out? It's very, very sad. So, I returned to the hostel, went to my room, did not speak to anybody. I was just thinking what will happen next. Within a few minutes, somebody came and said, Arvind, the warden is calling you. I was being summoned to his office, and as I entered his office, there were so many VIPs who were seated there. They would have wanted a chance to sit in the front, or they would want to make some request. As I said, he was like the administrative head, and a lot of people came to meet him. But that day, I was the biggest VIP because he told all of them to go out. And he began to speak to me one-on-one. He said, Arvind, what did you do? I said, sir, I just did whatever you said. And then he tells me, if I tell you to jump in a well, will you go and jump in the well? I said, sir, I don't know. Sir, please protect me, please save me. In retrospect, that was another mistake. Who is, when faced with the greatest and gravest of dangers, people turn to God and tell, please save me. And here, I am asking somebody to save me from God. Save me from God? See, all these are illusions and delusions that we get into. We think God is targeting us. We think God is cruel. No, we can't be more mistaken. But at that moment, it feels like that. And I said, sir, please save me. He said, don't worry. I will tell you what to do. He said, first of all, pray. Pray that Swami doesn't ask me about you. Strange things, All the time you wish that Swami speaks about you. You wish Swami looks at you. But here you are being told, pray that Swami doesn't look at you. Pray that Swami doesn't ask about you. And he said, also ensure that you don't show your face in any way. Always be in the last lines only. We used to have these token lines where you go and select whichever line you want to sit for darshan. And they will pick tokens, and those lines will be sent according to the tokens. So it was like a lucky dip. And he said, don't get into the lucky dip. Wait till the end, till all the lines leave for darshan, the student lines, and join at the end of the last line every day. So that you don't sit in front and don't show your face to Swami and remind him of the crime that you have done. I agreed to all his conditions. And with trepidation in the heart, went for the summer course classes. The classes got over. In the evening, Swami's discourse was there, and after the discourse, after all the evening session, the warden again summoned me to his office. He was beaming joyously, and I felt, oh, things must have changed. He told me, Arvind, your prayers have worked. Swami did not ask me anything about you. I was also happy. I said, oh, thank you, sir. I'm glad that it's over. Now his face changed and he said, it's not over. Don't sit in the front ever till I tell you. Because you never know, if Swami sees your face, he will remember, and that's the end of your student life here. So I said, okay sir, whatever you say. And thus began the most painful stage of the summer course for me. Because this summer course is an opportunity for every student to get closer to Swami, get interactions with Swami. During the speech sessions in the auditorium, Swami would come and sit amidst the students. Swami would dine with the students. Swami would spend so much time with the students, and I would be missing all of this because I have to sit back. So every day I used to sit back. And 2 days passed by and they were so torturous for me, and I began to lose enthusiasm for anything. Why get up early? Why get ready? Because the sole objective for all of us is to get closer to Swami, and once that is removed, everything else seems meaningless. And who was the cause for all this? Swami, you yourself. As I was thinking like this, one day during darshan, I felt that from a distance, Swami was looking at me. I straightened up. I also continued to look at him. And Swami flashed a beautiful smile. And in my heart, I just felt that Swami was telling me, Bangaru, all is done. It's fine now. I felt so elated. So after that session, I went again to the warden's office. This time I was not a VIP because the other people were seated there and told me to wait. I waited till everybody finished their work, whatever they had to discuss, and they left. And then I went in and I said, sir, today Swami smiled at me. He said, okay, good. I said, sir, from now I think I'll go back to the normal lines. I'll sit as per my luck. He said, how did you get to see Swami up close when you were sitting back? I said, no sir, I was sitting in a distance. From a distance only Swami smiled at me. He said, are you sure he smiled at you? He might have smiled at somebody else. Simply don't get fooled like this and go. I'm telling you, listen to me, don't go in the front, because if anything happens, afterwards don't blame me. You have to just leave. This is another thing that happens. We get an experience, we get a divine experience, and we go and share it with others. And the questions and doubts that they ask starts bothering us. We begin to doubt our own experience. That is why Swami would say, treasure these experiences with Bhagwan and share it in satsang. Share it with only like-minded people. Share it with those who have love for God, those who have yearning for Him. Because if you try to share it with all and sundry and they begin to ask you things, you may doubt your own experience. That is what happened. For sure Swami had given me such a beautiful smile, but I had my doubts once the warden said that way. And I said, okay sir, I'll sit back. 29th of May 2002. That was the final discourse Swami delivered during that summer course. And in the course of that discourse, Swami said, what is the meaning of anger? I don't know what is the meaning of anger. And even as Swami said that, I was noting down the discourse in my book. I stopped writing. And I looked at Swami, so far from him, sitting back. And I said, Swami, you don't know what is the meaning of anger. Just 3 days back, what was that then? And then Swami said, even anger is a way of expression of God's love. God doesn't know the meaning of anger. He doesn't know it at all. He doesn't get angry at all. I refused to believe his statement. I said, no Swami, that day you were so angry. And I'm still suffering because of that anger of yours. Swami, how long will this continue, Swami? I was getting scared that you will kick me out. I don't know if this is a better or a worse situation now. I am so near, yet so far. I am your student, but where am I sitting, Swami? I felt very sad. That I stopped noting down the discourse after that point. I just kept my pen down and I just kept looking at Swami. The next day morning, I had another duty to perform. which is get up early in the morning. This was like, all these duties are by rotation. So I'd get up early in the morning before anybody else, take bath, and then when the bell rings at around 4:30 for everybody to get up in the hostel, I had to play some good elevating songs and music over the PA system, of the public announcement system in the hostel, so that the whole vibrations, the whole atmosphere is charged with those divine vibrations. That day, as I was sitting there, I had not slept well last night, but I got up early in the morning to do my duty. I picked up a random cassette. Yes, those days we didn't have MP3 players, and CDs and DVDs themselves were like high-end technology. We still used audio cassettes. I pulled out an audio cassette called Devotional 31 or Devotional 32, I don't remember, some random number, and put it in and played it. And even as I played, this song came alive.
बाह छुड़ाए जात हो निबल जान के मोह हृदय से जब जाओ तो सबल में जानू तो.
Before I tell you the song, let me give you the context of that song. This was a song composed by Saint Surdas. Surdas, a great saint, was born blind. And Sathya Surdas was once led to a well and made to fall into it. And as he fell into the well, he called out, "Krishna, Gopala!" But he was stuck in the well. He cried out for help. And then a little boy comes to help him, puts a stick and helps him out of the well. And Surdas is so happy, he says, "Little boy, come here." The boy comes to him, he says, "What is your name?" The boy says, "My name is Gopal." He says, "Gopal? Oh, I love Gopal. My Lord is also Gopal." "Gopal, what do you do? Why are you not in school?" And Gopal says, "I don't go to school. I spend my time tending to the cows." And Surdas says, "Oh my God, Gopal, my Lord also does this." And then as he's lovingly patting his Gopal's head, he touches a peacock feather and he says, "Gopal." And even as he says Gopal, Gopal leaves his hand and runs away. He runs away, and that is when Surdas bursts forth into this song. The meaning of the song is "Baah chudaye jatu ho nibal jaan ke moh." You are leaving my hand and running away because you think that I am weak. But Krishna, I will not consider you strong. If you are really strong, leave my heart and show me. And this is in the Rag Darbari, which I don't know, my heart somehow resonates with. As I heard this music, my heart just melted. I broke down. Looking at Swami's photograph, which was there in the room there, I said, Swami, you think that you are able to keep me away? You think you're strong because you're able to push me to a distance, leave my grip and go away? Swami, if you're strong, leave my heart and show me. You can't leave my heart. You can't leave my heart. No, Swami, no. I get tears because even now when I relive it, it's the worst pain, Possibly that's why a devotee does not suffer other pains, because there is no pain greater than losing the Lord. So Lord, dear Swami, anything is fine. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Never do I want to lose you. And I fell asleep. Can you believe it? I fell asleep. I was so tired. I had not slept the previous night. I fell asleep. That's when I had a most beautiful dream. In the dream, I was seated in the auditorium. That itself should have told me it's a dream, because during the entire summer course I would never sit in the auditorium, and now the summer course had been completed. I was sitting in the auditorium and Swami is walking by in the auditorium distributing fruits. He's distributing muskmelon. And I too wanted muskmelon. So I wanted to get up and ask Swami for those fruits. That is when I noticed that I had some fruits in my hand and they were rotten, smelling, bad fruits. So I said, Swami, give me those good fruits. Swami comes near me and tells, you first finish those fruits, then I will give you these fruits. And though these fruits were rotten, I quickly gobbled them because I wanted fruits from Swami's hand, those sweet, fresh fruits from Bhagwan's hands. And once I consumed it, Swami gave me those fresh fruits. He also sat down beside me in the auditorium on the chair. And I said, Swami, you know everything, Swami. Why this is happening? And Swami said, I have no objection. I wondered what he meant. Then I said, Swami, then tomorrow I want to get my camera and take your photograph. I will sit right in the front. Swami said, no objection. And that is when the room door opened and somebody came and said, hey, get up, brother, get up. You put off the music, you have to put it off now, it's over. Oh, I recollected this dream and wow, what a dream it was. It's very significant, you know. Karma phala, we speak of the fruits of action. And the fruits of action, not only of this birth, but of different lifetimes, different births. Swami says that we don't carry anything across lifetimes, across our births. The only thing that we carry are the fruits of our action. And it's very significant if you just think of it, you know. The rotten fruits, you have rotten fruits to consume. Finish them off fast. I will give you fresh fruits. I sat right in the front. Swami came close by. Nothing happened. He didn't speak to me. He didn't scold me. But he just walked by and it was done. And I felt happy. I felt, oh, good. Swami is not going to scold me. It's fine. Whatever it is, it's over. But after that darshan session, I was summoned again by my warden. And he said, why did you sit in front? I said, sir, the problem is solved. He said, the problem is not solved. Swami didn't tell anything to me. I said, sir, the problem is between me and Swami, right? Why will he tell you? I will take care of it, sir, no problem. In fact, I became so emboldened. I said, sir, in fact, I would like to stand inside Swami's residence in the Tarai Brindavan compound when my duty comes up next. He said, don't be foolish, don't go into the lion's den, don't offer yourself like this. If you're thrown out, I'm not responsible. I said, sir, if Swami throws me out, I will gladly go out. Really, dear brothers and sisters, if Swami doesn't want us in some place, what is the use of staying in that place? Let us simply submit to His will. Let us do what He wants, because what He wants is the best for us. Always. So I said, sir, if Swami sends me out, I will gladly go out. That is why on the 3rd of June, I stood in Tarai Brindavan as part of my duty. As I was standing near the speaker, Swami came walking. And usually when Swami would walk past, he would keep looking at the carpet below. I used to feel jealous of that carpet. And I thought it would be fine because Swami would look at the carpet and go. But that day, as Swami came walking, right in front of me, he stops, looks up and looks into my eyes. And when he does that, a bit of trepidation returns to my heart and I'm wondering what is going to happen. And I tell in my mind, Swami, you only said you have no objection, you only said you have no problem, that's why I have come, Swami, please don't put me out. Swami looks at me and says, asks actually, where are the fruits? You know, I was going to say, Swami, I ate them. Because that's what had happened, right? All my rotten fruits, all the rotten fruits of my karma I have consumed, Swami, now. That was the dream. But even as I was going to say that, I noticed at a distance, there were students who were holding up vessels of mangoes. I realized that this was the prasadam for the day. Mango prasadam. So I got the message that Swami was conveying. But at a practical level, I said, Swami, the fruits are there. Then Swami turned, looked at those mangoes and he summoned for them. They came. Swami touched those mangoes, blessed and said, yes. He looked at me and said, ensure that these are distributed to all the devotees. These are good, fresh fruits. I was just smiling. I said, yes, Swami. And I offered the handkerchief to him. Swami took that handkerchief, wiped his face, looked at me, smiled. And instead of giving it into my hand that he would usually do, playfully he threw it at my face. And then Swami walked in to the darshan hall from the backstage door. As the door closed, both the warden and my teacher in charge came and said, yes, Arvind, problem solved. So such a beautiful experience that made me realize that at times when we feel that God is giving us trouble, it is God giving us a lesser trouble in lieu of a bigger one. We have no idea what are the karmas we have done and come. We don't know how to burn them, and God has the easiest and best way to burn them off in the most beautiful manner possible. I was just thinking, I don't know what those bad fruits of my action were, but they got burnt in the best possible manner in Bhagwan's presence. From that day, anytime I get difficulties, it's not as if I don't suffer, it's not as if I don't feel the pain. I do feel it. But I can cross my heart, and Swami is witness to this. I never ask Swami, why Swami? Because I know it's for my good. It's for my good. Swami loves me so much. That's why he is concerned with my genuine bliss, not just the happiness of my body and mind, but the progress of my soul. And I know that the soul's progress is soul progress. No other progress is progress. It's only soul progress which is soul progress, and that is always happening when I am with Swami. And therefore, once we realize this, I think we will also get the wisdom like Mother Kunti, who went to Krishna and said, Krishna, fill my life with troubles, because it's only in those times that I get closer to you. Dear brothers and sisters, in my experience, whenever we feel that God has taken us to deep waters and drowning us, He's actually cleansing us. We come out of it stronger, much more peaceful, much more happier, much more strong, and with a beautiful experience at the end of it. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.